Senator Warren.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. American families are getting hammered by soaring prices while giant corporations are raking in huge profits. And one big reason for that is that corporate lobbyists have rigged our tax code to reward offshoring. Now, offshoring means fewer good jobs for American workers. It also means overseas supply chains that keep breaking on American consumers. Professor Shambaugh, if confirmed, you would be Treasury's top international official leading work on investment issues. So today I wanted to talk with you about how our tax code disincentivizes investments in U.S. manufacturing. And I'd like to talk about AbbVie, the company that the chairman just raised, a big pharma company known for jacking up drug prices and exploiting tax breaks for offshoring. Now, AbbVie has manufacturing in Ireland where it pays just 12.5% of its profits in taxes. Now the U.S. has international minimum tax rules that are supposed to prevent the abuse of tax havens, topping up AbbVie's tax bill if it pays too little overseas. But giant loopholes in this minimum tax mean that AbbVie still gets a huge tax break for investing in Ireland instead of the U.S. Professor Shambaugh, do you agree that our tax code should level the playing field for U.S. manufacturing and incentivize investments in the U.S. rather than in tax havens?
I would agree that we would want our tax code to encourage investment and production in the United States.
Okay, so let's dive into that a bit more. I agree with you. But tax loopholes are rewarding AbbVie's offshoring of drug manufacturing to tax havens. But here's the part I want to focus on. It gets worse by including tax incentives to offshore to high-tax countries as well. So take Germany, where AbbVie also has a manufacturing facility, and the corporate tax rate is about 30%, much higher than the U.S. rate of 21%. You would think that would mean investing in the U.S. is more attractive than investing in Germany. But because our international minimum tax rules look at all foreign taxes in totality paid together, AbbVie can use high taxes in Germany to shield its low-tax Irish income. AbbVie would not get the same benefit for paying U.S. taxes, so it's actually incentivized to invest in high-tax Germany rather than investing here in the United States. So, Professor Shambaugh, when you think about our international investment policy, does it make sense to invest in rewarding investing in Germany over investing in the United States?
I think we as a country do better when companies are choosing their location based off the skills of the workers and productivity of the economy and not gaming tax rates.
All right. So, look, I agree with you on this. Our international tax rules are broken, and incentivizing companies like AbbVie to invest everywhere outside the United States, low tax, high tax, makes no sense at all. So, would it surprise you then that AbbVie has used these broken rules to slash its effective tax rate in half and that it books 99% of its income overseas?
I guess in some sense it wouldn't surprise me based off some of the things I've heard the chairman say so far today, but it does not sound like the way we want our tax system to function.
So would you like to see changes in this system?
I think having a global tax system that would not encourage booking tax profits in tax havens would definitely be better for the country.
You know, I know you've done work on this, and I appreciate the work you've done. I also want to say how much I appreciate the work that Chairman Wyden has done on this long and consistently. You know, we just have to recognize that corporate lobbyists have rigged our tax code for big pharma, and that it is incentivizing offshoring when we need to be investing in good jobs and secure supply chains here at home. This is why Secretary Yellen has negotiated an historic minimum tax agreement and why congressional Democrats are working to end big pharma's overseas tax breaks and to lower prescription drug prices. I know that corporate lobbyists are kicking and screaming because they like a situation where their companies don't have to pay taxes, and they like to be able to continue to raise their prices. But our job is to put American workers, American small businesses, American consumers first, and we need to reward investments here in America instead of everywhere else in the world. So thank you very much, both of you, for your work.
Thank you, Senator Warren. That last point in particular, it's really a question of whose side are you on? Are you on the side of the consumers and small businesses, or are you just going to say these big guys can continue to practice tax avoidance? I would also note, and I think my colleague knows a little bit about the roots of this, that Senator Brown and Senator Warner and I, working with virtually every member of our caucus, the Democratic caucus and the Finance Committee, put together an agreement that embodies most of these kinds of thoughts. So it's pretty clear that you can get agreement across the political divide on these tough issues when you work together and point out whose side are you on, because right now the consumers and small businesses in America, as my colleague is pointing out, are getting the short end of the stick, and I appreciate that.